Okay, so let's talk about being indigenous, right? Us being native to the land. So with a lot of us, we think that we come from somewhere else and we don't know how native we are to the land. We don't know how indigenous we are to the land, right? And that's why it's time for us to go ahead and look into our roots, right? Because where the root is, that's where the foundation is. Where the root is, that's where the foundation is, so that we can be able to learn where it is that we come from, so that we have a better idea, a better vision of where it is that we're going, right? And we can have a foundation so we can create from that foundation, and we can really, really tap into that creativity just because we had that foundation. We have that solid foundation, right? Now, back to indigenous, right? Being indigenous, finding out where our indigenous or how we're indigenous through bloodline, right? By tapping into that, we are now going into honoring our ancestors, right? We're honoring ancestors, and with us honoring our ancestors, blessings come from all over the place, right? Blessings come from places we couldn't even imagine just by honoring our ancestors, right? Honor thy mother and thy father so that our days can be long, right? So when we honor our ancestors, right, think about this, right? Just like how we're doing everything right now for our children in the future, they've done everything in the past so that we can be good for today, right? A lot of us have forgotten where we come from. A lot of us have forgotten what they've established for us already and what's already here for us, right? So us tapping into where we come from and us remembering and honoring our foremothers and forefathers and tapping into our indigenous roots, right? We tap into our blessings for the things that they've already set up for us. And tapping into our blessings for things that they've already set for us, we're now we have now established a foundation for where it is that we want to go using the blessings that they've already established for us. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of us out here don't even realize, like, there's a lot of names like let's say Robertson. My grandmother's name was Robinson. You got Johnson, you got James, you got Miles, you got Franklin, right? You got Thompson, right? You got all these names, right? You got McDonald, you got all these names that we think came from slave owners when really these are names of tribes that are here in the Americas, not only in the Americas, right? But in original names from tribes that came from, let's say, Europe as well, from all over the world, but concentration here in Americas, because this is where we're at right now, right? And for those of you who are in different parts of the world, right, if you trace their last names, you'll begin to find that these are tribes around your location, right? So back to the Thompsons, the Robinsons, the Johnsons, the James, the Davidsons. These are tribal names coming from tribes like the Wichita tribes, right? Tribes like the Creek, tribes like you have Iroquoian, you have Algonquin tribes. Like, when we trace our last names, we come to find out that these are actually tribal names that were here from since the beginning of time, right? They didn't come from a European. No, they were already here, okay? And the Caucasian, right, actually got their names from us as tribal people. That's why it's so important to know your roots, know where you're coming from, because at the end of the day, it'll all make sense. So, with that being said, tap into the indigenous side of yourself, right? Tap into the native side of yourself. Because the more we tap into our indigenous side, the more we tap into our native side, we'll begin to see how connected we are to these lands. And it's incredible. So with that being said, stay up, stay great, stay in bliss. Peace.